One night changed everything. When I left home that morning, I thought it would be a normal workday. I had no idea I wouldn't sleep in my own bed that night. And I never imagined the person beside me would be the man I disliked the most. My name is Clara Hayes. I'm 29 years old. I work as a project assistant at Cole Fashion Group. My boss is Adrian Cole. He is the CEO. Everyone in the company respects him. I don't. To me, he is cold. He never smiles. He never says good morning. He only talks when something is wrong. The whole office becomes quiet when he walks in. Even the managers look nervous. Last Monday, I finished a report before the deadline. I was proud of it. I placed it on his desk. He read the first page. Then he looked at me. "Page 6, he said. "The sales numbers don't match." I checked them. He was right. I had made one small mistake. "I'll fix it," I said. He gave a small nod and walked away. No thank you, no good work, nothing. I watched him leave and quietly said to myself, I'll never understand that man. The next morning, I tried to forget about yesterday. I came to work early, made my coffee, opened my laptop. Everything felt normal until my phone rang. "Mr. Cole wants to see you." I took a deep breath. Then I walked to his office. He was looking at a file. He didn't ask me to sit down. "We have a meeting tomorrow," he said. "Our biggest client." I waited for him to continue. "You'll come with me." I blinked. "Me?" "Yes." "There are other assistants." "I chose you." That surprised me. He closed the file. "We leave at 7 in the morning." Then he looked back at his computer. The meeting was over. I walked out without saying another word. As soon as I reached my desk, Emma looked at me. "What happened?" "I have to travel with Mr. Cole." Her eyes became wide. "For 2 days?" I nodded. She smiled. "I don't know if you're lucky," she stopped talking, "or very unlucky." I laughed. At that moment, I was sure it was the second one. The next morning, I arrived 10 minutes early. Adrian was already outside. His black car was waiting. He opened the trunk. "Put your bag there," he said. I did. Then we started driving. The first 20 minutes were quiet. Very quiet. I looked out of the window. Tall buildings slowly disappeared. Soon there were only trees and long, empty roads. I checked my phone. Emma had sent a message. "Good luck. You'll need it." I smiled. Then I put my phone away. After almost an hour, Adrian spoke. "Did you finish the client presentation?" "Yes." "Did you check every number?" 3 times. He gave a small nod. "Good." That was probably the nicest thing he had ever said to me. I almost smiled. Then I looked outside again. The sky had changed. Dark clouds were moving toward us. The wind became stronger. A few drops of rain hit the windshield. Then a few more. Within minutes, the rain became heavy. I looked at Adrian. Should we stop? He kept his eyes on the road. We're almost there. Just then, the car made a strange sound. A loud knock came from under the engine. Both of us heard it. This time, even Adrian looked worried. The noise came again, louder this time. Adrian frowned. He slowly pulled the car to the side of the road. The engine stopped. He tried to start it again. Nothing. Only silence. Then the rain became even heavier. I looked around. There was no traffic, no houses, no gas station, nothing. I picked up my phone. No signal, I said. Adrian checked his phone, too. He sighed quietly. No signal here either. He stepped out of the car. Rain covered him in seconds. He opened the hood and looked inside. I waited. 5 minutes passed. Then he closed it. It won't start. So what do we do now? I asked. He looked down the road. I saw a small house a few minutes back. You think someone lives there? I don't know. The rain was getting worse. Staying in the car didn't feel safe anymore. I grabbed my bag. He picked up his jacket. Without saying another word, we started walking. The road was empty. The rain was cold. After a few minutes, I finally saw it, an old wooden house. One light was on inside. I looked at Adrian. He looked back at me. Neither of us said a word. Then he walked toward the front door. Adrian knocked on the door. For a few seconds, nothing happened. Then the door opened. An old woman stood there. She looked at us, then at the rain. "You two look frozen," she said. "Come inside." We thanked her and walked in. The house was small. A fire was burning in the fireplace. It felt warm. The old woman gave us 2 dry towels. I smiled. "Thank you." She nodded. "You can stay here until the storm ends." Adrian thanked her too. It was the first time I heard him speak so gently. She looked at him for a moment. Then she asked, "Have we met before?" Adrian looked surprised. "I don't think so." She kept looking at him. "You remind me of someone." He didn't answer. He just looked into the fire, very quietly, like he was somewhere else. I noticed his hands. They were shaking a little. That didn't make sense. This was the same man who never showed fear. I wanted to ask if he was okay, but something told me this wasn't the right time. The old woman placed 2 cups of hot tea on the table. "Drink," she said. "It will help." I wrapped my hands around the cup. It felt warm. Adrian was looking at a photo on the wall. A man, a woman, a little girl. The old woman noticed him. "My husband," she said softly. "Our daughter. We lost them many years ago." The room became quiet. Adrian kept looking at the photo. Then he spoke. I know that feeling. His voice was different, very quiet. The old woman looked at him. So do you? He nodded. My wife and my daughter died in a car accident. I looked at him. I couldn't believe it. I was driving that day. It happened 5 years ago. I survived. They didn't. He looked down at his hands. After that, I stopped living. I only worked. Work was easier than going home. No one spoke. The fire cracked softly. For the first time, I didn't see a cold CEO. I saw a man carrying a pain he never shared. For a long time, no one spoke. The fire was the only sound in the room. I looked at Adrian. He was still staring at the floor. I judged you, I said quietly. He looked up. I thought you were just cold. He gave a small smile. Most people do. I took a deep breath. I lost someone too. He waited. My mom. I was 19. It wasn't an accident. It was cancer. I watched her get weaker every day. I kept telling myself she would get better. But she didn't. My eyes filled with tears. I never told anyone at work. I didn't want people to feel sorry for me. Adrian nodded slowly. I understand. Those 2 words felt real, not polite, not empty. For the first time, I felt like someone truly understood me. The old woman quietly stood up. I'll make something for dinner, she said. Then she walked into the kitchen. Now it was just the 2 of us. The room was silent again, but this time the silence didn't feel uncomfortable. The storm was still outside, but inside everything was quiet. The old woman had gone upstairs. It was just the 2 of us. I looked at the fire. I was wrong about you, I said. Adrian looked at me. You only saw the man at work. I never let anyone see the real me. His voice was calm, but I could hear the sadness. I'm sorry, I said, for judging you. He shook his head. You had your reasons. For a few seconds, neither of us spoke. Then he smiled. It was small, but it was the first real smile I had ever seen. It changed his whole face. Without thinking, I smiled back. Another loud crash of thunder filled the house. I moved a little closer. Not because I was afraid, because I didn't want him to feel alone. He looked into my eyes. I haven't smiled like this in years, he said. I didn't know what to say. So I gently held his hand. He didn't pull away. A moment later, he leaned closer. He stopped for a second, giving me time to move back. I didn't. Our lips met for a brief, gentle kiss. When we pulled away, neither of us spoke. The storm was still outside, but somehow it didn't feel so cold anymore. The next morning, the storm was gone. The road was clear. A mechanic from a nearby town fixed the car. Neither of us talked much on the way back, but the silence felt different. It was peaceful. When we reached the office, everything was normal. People were working, phones were ringing. No one knew where we had spent the night. I thought everything would stay the same. I was wrong. As soon as I walked to my desk, Emma smiled. "There you are! How was the trip?" "It was difficult," I said. Before I could say more, Adrian walked past us. For the first time, he stopped. He looked at me and said, "Good morning, Clara." Then he smiled. A small smile. But everyone saw it. The whole office became quiet. Emma looked at me. Did our CEO just smile? I didn't know what to say. People started whispering. Some looked surprised. Others looked confused. That afternoon, Adrian asked me to come to his office. I knocked on the door. He looked up from his desk. "Close the door, please," he said. I closed it slowly. Then he stood up. "I want to ask you something." His face looked nervous. I had never seen him like that before. I stood quietly. Adrian walked around his desk. Then he stopped in front of me. "I've been thinking all morning," he said. "So have I." He smiled a little. "I don't want last night to be just a memory." My heart started beating faster. I know I'm not an easy person. I know I made this office a difficult place. He looked down for a second. I forgot how to live. Until the storm. His words felt honest. He looked back at me. "I don't expect an answer today, but I'd like to get to know you. Outside this office, as two normal people." I couldn't stop smiling. I'd like that too. For the first time, it didn't feel like I was talking to my CEO. I was talking to Adrian. A few months later, he stepped down as my direct manager. The company gave me a new team. We wanted to keep our work and our personal life separate. It wasn't always easy. People still talked. Some believed the rumors, some didn't. But we stopped worrying about what others thought. We were honest with each other, and that was enough. Sometimes life changes when you least expect it. For us, it started with a storm. If you enjoyed this story, tell me what you think in the comments. Do you believe one unexpected night can change two lives forever? And if you want to hear more stories like this, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next story.